Now let's do predictions, but before that you need to watch video first, and it is a continuous series. So let me just quickly show you what we did so far, and you can see that we import the libraries, we import the data set, and we just encoding categorical data, because we have stats, and machine learning doesn't understand uh, text, so we have to convert the text into numbers, and then we did the encoding. And you can see here, since we have three text, New York, California, and Florida, so all these are converted into 001 and things like that. And then we have removed the column 1 to remove the dummy variable chef, to prevent multicollinearity, because when two variables are related to each other, then it affects the overall results. And then we spread the models and then train it, and then we did our predictions here. And we also define adjusted R square. We also draw the graphs, and we also find some other metrics. Now in this video I'm going to teach you how to do the predictions, making predictions. And these predictions, I will tell you, is that these are new predictions. Okay, these are not based on test data or trained data. It's quite a new number that I will insert, and I will get my result. So let's say that a new startup comes to us, and they are in California, and they want to spend some dollars on R&D, and some dollars on admin, and some dollars on marketing. So what will their profit be? And you can see here, these are our features: R&D, administration, marketing, and stat, and this is our profit. Okay, so I would just want to show you the data set so that you understand what's going on. So now what I will do, I will just insert numbers for stat, marketing, administration, and R&D, and then I will calculate my prediction. Let me just paste it for you so that you understand what's going on. And I will take Florida and New York 00, and California is going to be our baseline. So let me just quickly type it for you. Okay, so now let's just define a new variable. So I'm going to call it new start off, and here I'm going to put my values. Okay, and 00, and let's say that $15,000, three four, and then add 0000, and then 20000. Okay, this is enough. And for that I need to use the model to predict the profit. Okay, so let me just quickly use my model. Use the model to predict their profit. Okay, make sure that you write it this way. It depends how you construct your training data. So you know that very well. I'm gonna use a variable called predict.profit, and I'm gonna call my model regressor, and I will use predict, and here I will just call the variable new startup. Here you can see it. And the next thing I need to do is I need to print it. Okay, and after print you will see the results on the screen. So predicted profit for new startup, and here you will see you will call your variable predicted, and one thing more is that you also need to define the decimals. So I'm gonna use 2 decimals. Okay, after that I will just run it. You can see that this is my predicted score. Okay, you can also update the values if you want to. Now you can see if I just add 1 0 here, and then the result will change here. Okay, so updating the values and your values will change. So this is the predicted profit for the new value that you put here. Okay, so you can put any sort of value here and you will get the prediction. One more important thing that we need to do is we also need to find the equation. Okay, we also need to find the equations and the constants, the intercepts, okay, the coefficients. So these things are very important. So let's also find the equation or final equation. And to find our final equation, all we need to do is we need to come here, and after that we have to do is you know that the formula for multiple linear regression is that y is equal to b naught plus b1 plus b2 b1x plus b2x. It depends how many features do you have. So the number of features, if you have 5 features, then you are going to have 5 variables, and here you can see that we have 1 2 3 4 5. So I need to find 5 values. Okay, and to find it, first and foremost I need to find my intercept. Okay, so let's get the intercept, and after that I will find my coefficient, and then I will write my whole equation. So let me just define a variable intercept, and here you will call let's call regressor, and we use intercept. Okay, there is a mistake here, and the next thing I need to do is that I need to friend it. I need to friend. So for that I'm going to use f string and intercept. Since we usually represent intercept with b naught, so I'll use it, and then I'm going to use curly brackets, and I'm going to call the variable intercept, and I will also need to define my representation, which is 2f. If I run it, you will see that our intercept has been found. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is I also need to find my coefficients. Okay, so I need to get the coefficient, and my coefficient is b1 b2 b3 b4 b5. So I also need to add my coefficients, which is b1 b2 b3 b4 b5, and to get that all I need to do is define a variable, and after that I'm gonna call the regressor and use coefficient. Okay, and then I have to friend it. Friend coefficients. Okay, let me just use it this way, coefficients. And you know that my coefficient is b1, b2, b3, b4 and b5. And all you need to do is put the comma and then call your variable coefficients. Okay, so if you print it, you can see that your coefficients have been calculated, and we have just one negative coefficient here and the rest is positive. Okay, so now I need to put my equation in order. Y is equal to b naught plus b1 plus b2 plus b3 plus b4 plus b5. So I need to do that as well. Now the final thing that we need to do is we need to pull it all together into a readable equation. So let's create a readable equation, and it's easy and simple and quick. Okay, for that we need to define our feature names, and here we have to put our features names here. So it's gonna be, let's say, Florida, and then let's say New York. Okay, and then you know that the third column, it is R and D spend, and the fourth feature we have is marketing spend. So I think the second one is R&D, and then we have admin spend, not marketing spend. So admin spend, and then we have marketing spend, and the sum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now all I need to do is I'm gonna print my final equation. Okay, the final equation, and now let me just print my intercept. Print intercept. So profit my intercept, and I'm gonna use 2 decimals here. Okay, keep running side by side so that you don't get errors. Now the next thing that you need to do is that to check if coefficient is positive or negative, so that to format the positive and negative signs nicely. So for that I'm gonna use sign, and I'm gonna use plus. Okay, and coefficient f coefficient is greater than or equal to 0, and if this is not the case, then what we need to do, else okay, negative. The next thing we need to do is that we need to print it, but before that, here I also need to define my for loop. Okay, so since we have defined the feature names, we also define the coefficients. Okay, so here all I need to do is I need to define my loop for name, coefficient, n, and if we'll just put them together. So I'm gonna call my feature names, and I'm also going to call my coefficients. Okay, and don't forget your colon. Now let me just copy it, since we need to take care of indentation. Okay, and now let's just print f string, here sign. So sign is either positive or negative. Okay, moreover, I need to find the absolute value of the coefficient, and then I have to use restrict it to 2 decimals. Okay, then multiply it with the name. Okay, so use my bracket. Let's use brackets. So this is going to be my final equation. Now let's see if when you run it, you can see the final equation below here. So this is your final equation. Profit b naught minus b1, b2, b3, b4, b5. Okay,